Merhaba arkadaşlar, ne yapıyorsunuz? Hoş geldiniz. Hoş bulduk inşallah. I've been asking myself one question a lot. Why are we afraid of the unknown? And for someone like me who's pretty unsure of everything and quite an introverted person, I've been asking myself this a lot. Especially when there are new things or something is out of routine, I feel like scared. Nothing in this world is certain except death and taxes. There's something that already Benjamin Franklin figured out in 1789, and this basically summarizes the world of uncertainties that we are living in. But is it true? Do we really live in a world full of uncertainties? I feel like my life is pretty predictable. Like today we will listen to a few more talks, we'll have a break, dinner, then I will go home. And to me, this seems pretty predictable. But the truth is that life is not predictable at all. And if we look at some major events that happened in the last few years, we can see that life is actually pretty chaotic and unpredictable. For example, nobody thought that in 2020 a global pandemic would hit the world. Also, in 1986, nobody expected on a normal day the biggest nuclear catastrophe to happen, and the Russian invasion of Ukraine is not something that everybody predicted. And the list goes on. Also, in our private life, there's a lot of uncertainty. For example, we could suddenly lose our jobs, we could suddenly get ill or lose a loved one. But why is it that life has so many unpredictable turns? For me personally, also my life took a pretty unpredictable turn. I never expected one day to live in a country that would eat yogurt with everything and drink it and put salt in it. And now here I am. This actually shows that we don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow in the next few hours or even right now in this moment. So why is it that even though uncertainty is such a big part of our daily life, that many of us are actually afraid of the unknown? But before we can look at how to deal with the unknown, we should try to understand, why does the fear of the unknown even exist? Why do we fear? Tama. Why do we fear? Experts actually believe that fear is a biologically basic emotion, and we need this because it's in our instincts. We need fear to survive, but every human fears differently. So every human has a different level of fear. And I feel like after coming to Turkey that Turkish people have quite an unpredictable life. They live quite in the moment, in the unknown, and sometimes I feel like, wow, there are no meeting invitations, schedule not always predictable, right? And when I'm in the traffic with my car, I never know, like, the car in front of me is going to turn left or is it going to turn right. It's always kind of a surprise for me. But on the other hand, there are also people or cultures that need the control in their lives. And some people, they really fear the unknown, and they can fear to such a degree that normal situations can become unbearable. And then we talk about xenophobia. Xenophobia is the fear of the unknown, the fear of change, the fear of anything that is new. And it is not always easy to have control of our own situations. What are some symptoms of fearing the unknown? First of all, we have to understand, where does it come from? People that fear the unknown to such an extent that it might be problematic in their social, physical, or emotional life, that it holds them back to actually fully live a good life. And this might be caused by past experiences, trauma, depression, OCD, or mental illnesses. And some of the symptoms that they can feel is, for example, sweating, adrenaline, an increased heart rate, also isolating themselves, or actually not or avoiding normal situations like coming to an event. For some people, COVID-19, Corona, caused a lot of fear of the unknown. There were two things that Corona took away from our lives: predictability and control. And when two things are taken away from our lives, then we actually feel very scared. And we have this control taken away from us. Also, during COVID, lots of us, we just stayed in our comfort zone at home. It was really nice, our safe and secure place, but actually, staying in our comfort zone is not always the best idea. Even though we feel comfortable, it actually holds us back from living our best life and being the best version of ourselves. So why is it that we have such a big problem with dealing with fear of the unknown? The answer is that we want control over our lives. In our nature, it is that we want to have an orderly and secure life. We actually want to know what's going to happen next. So we try everything to achieve this. If we cannot achieve this, if there are situations that are quite unpredictable, then we start to do one thing. We start to worry. And we worry about a lot of things. I can give you an example. For example, we start to worry that the house would burn down, so that we would worry about it so much, even though it's a very unlikely event to happen, but if it happens, then at least we expected it, and it's not so unexpected anymore. That's kind of a coping mechanism. Many people fear the very unlikely. For example, we fear plane crashes, or we fear our house burning down, but tobacco and alcohol, on the other hand, are often played down, even though they take away so many more lives. And why is that? Why are we so irrational with our fear? Well, the answer is that fear is such a basic emotion that sometimes, even though a threat is so unlikely, that we still have such a big fear about it, and it really controls and influences our life. So can we enjoy the unknown? I'm just talking about fear and being scared, but the answer is yes, we actually can enjoy the unknown. And I love the unknown. Also, there are people that seek new adventures. They want to have new experiences and actually want a life in the unknown. And they're always seeking for new sensations. They're called sensation seekers. So for them, it can be quite stressful to live a predictable life. This is quite the opposite of xenophobia. The unknown can be exciting, but it can also be scary. When I moved to Turkey a few years ago, everything was super exciting. I was excited to explore the city. The air felt fresh and different. I was young and naive. People were super welcoming and friendly, and I thought everything is going to be great. But then I realized everything was actually so different than I expected. I'm from Berlin, from Germany, and we have a Mahalle called Kreuzberg. And in this Mahalle, there's a big Turkish influence. So there is a lot of döner, kebab, lahmacun, falan filan. And for me, it was an amazing place. I thought, this is how Turkey looks like Kreuzberg. And I would consider myself an expert of döner. I really like Ekrem Çoşkun. Merhaba, çok güzel bir döner. And when I come to Turkey, I went to a döner place, I tried it, and I was like, this is not how I expected the döner to be like in Germany. So something that I would consider myself an expert of was suddenly a completely new situation for me. This is why Turkey was a very unknown place to me, even though I thought it was quite familiar. So here I was. I didn't want to let fear overtake my life. I had to deal with the unknown, and I tried to figure out, how can I do this? How can I get to know the culture better? How can I get along with the people? So I did a lot of things. One of the things that I tried was learning Türkçe. Hala öğreniyorum, yoksa Şimdi bunun Türkçe yapardım yani. But here I am still talking in English. I also tried to make a lot of Turkish friends, to watch a lot of documentaries. And I bought this car, Limon Tofaş Serçe 89 model. The biggest trouble of my life. En kötü bir şey yaptım yani. And it brings me in so much trouble, but at the same time, it teaches me so much about life in Turkey and about myself. So I'm telling you, the unknown is the best place to be. It is actually a place where you can learn about yourself, where you can get out of your comfort zone, a place where you can not only learn about yourself, but also about others, and a place where you can see the differences and the similarities of different cultures. Very, very important. So how can we actually overcome the fear of the unknown? There are a few things that we can do. First of all, accept your fear. The biggest mistake that people do is they try to avoid their fears. But if we try to avoid our fear, it will actually increase our fear. Then check the situation. Sometimes we just exaggerate everything in our brain, and we have to understand, is our fear actually justified or not? So we have to get educated about the situation first. Try to talk with people that have been in a similar unknown situation, and yeah, try out if this is a good idea or not. Then relax. Every fear comes also with a physical component. We can start sweating or the symptoms that I taught about before. So one thing that you can do is try breathing exercises, try to meditate. There are a lot of things that can make us more relaxed. And also find support from friends. Try to find someone that has similar experiences, and always remember, you are not alone with your fear. There are lots of people that actually share the same things. And last but not least, face the situation. My sister actually gave me a very good advice. When I was 10 years old, she said, whenever you have a fear, just close your eyes and do it. And it's really the best advice that I can give anybody. Even though we are afraid, the only way we can learn is by actually facing our fears and facing the situation. Just close your eyes and try to do it. I'm not saying that we should eliminate all uncertainties in our life, because life is pretty uncertain, but the first step is to accept that life is uncertain. Because the unknown is an opportunity and at the same time a risk. It is an opportunity because everything that's new in our life teaches us and can enrich our life. But also we shouldn't forget that it is quite a risk. So new things, unfamiliar situations can be a big disappointment as well. We should never forget this. When I came to Turkey, I really struggled a lot. I thought life will be very uncomfortable and difficult in the beginning. And guess what? It was. But at the same time, the unknown became my home. And if I never stepped outside my comfort zone, if I never talked with all my Turkish friends in Berlin, if I never tried this Döner in Kreuzberg, then I would probably never come here and never experience this fear that became an opportunity as well. So you never know what's going to happen. Every fear can be an opportunity in your life as well. And every unknown place can become your home as well. The unknown is a place for growth, discovery, and adventure. And the unknown can also be a place for new memories and new friends. I didn't come alone today. I'm really thankful for my friends. And I'm not saying that you have to live in an unknown place to overcome your fears. But I'm telling you, you should live your life with an open mind and a willingness to take risks. Because I think the biggest advantage of stepping out of your comfort zone is actually fearing the unknown. Thank you so much for listening to my TED Talk.